welcome back and thanks for joining me today. Today we are going to learn about a really neat instrument. It's called the African water drum. There's a couple different kinds of water drums out there. We're going to look at the one from Africa today, specifically from Ghana. Before I even show you what this drum looks like, how it works, what it sounds like, I kind of want to show you a little bit of how it's made. So this is one part of the drum, the water drum, and you can see it kind of looks like one big bowl. Believe it or not, this is actually made from a gourd. Now, what's a gourd? A gourd is kind of like a pumpkin. So if you think of like Halloween pumpkins that are nice and big, it's kind of the same thing, but it's grown in Africa. And what they did is it's made from a gourd, and specifically a calabash gourd. And the gourd looks something like this, okay? So they come in a variety of shapes and sizes, but obviously for the use of this water drum, it needed to be a fairly big gourd. The calabash gourd, interestingly enough, is also called the bottle gourd. Why would it be called the bottle gourd? Because initially it was cultivated as a water container, and it still to this day is. In fact, these gourds have multiple purposes and uses. Not only is it used to hold water or food, but they also use these gourds. I mean, obviously not this size, this is a big size, but they use the smaller ones to make cups or bowls or things like that. And it's also a food source because just like pumpkins, there's like guts and seeds and everything in here. So what they do is they scrape it out and they would eat what was on the inside, and then the outside could be used as cups or instruments. In Africa, believe it or not, these are integral for music making. What do I mean by that? The gourds are not only used for things like drums, but believe it or not, they are also used as the bodies for guitars that they might make over there. I'm not like talking your acoustic guitar, but I mean just guitars that they might make over there, which is really neat. I mean, so many uses for something so simple, you know? It's a really neat little thing. So how do they even make this? Well, once they pick them, they cut them and they dry them out. I'm not talking for a few hours or days, I'm talking weeks, months at a time. They are then carved out and painted, and they are also burnt at the fire to give them kind of a hard shell and to keep all the colors, I'm guessing, on there. I'm sure there's a lot more to it than that, but that's kind of what I'm aware of with how they make them. So, how does a bowl like this turn into a drum, nevertheless with water? Well, I'm going to show you that today. So the water drum comes in several parts. We've got this little donut thing, which actually don't eat that, it's not yummy, but it's the stand, so I would put that there. I would take this giant bowl and stick it on the stand. The next thing I would do is I would grab some water, okay? So I've got a nice pitcher of water here, and what I would do is I would fill it up with water, maybe about 4 to 6 inches. I'm wonderful at math, so I'm just gonna pour it until I think it looks good. And today I feel like dumping it all in, so yay. All right, the next part, because I mean there's really nothing to do right now other than splash the water, which is fun but really doesn't sound like anything. You take a smaller gourd, which kind of hollow on the inside, and what you do is you take it and you let it float at the top of the water. Now, if it happens to sink or something, don't worry about it. You just keep trying until it floats. Typically, they float fairly well, and this one does. And then that's kind of your drum head, which is really cool to see. Now, there's a couple different ways of playing this. I'm going to show you a few different ways. One is to use a mallet. So the mallet is a wooden mallet with a rubber tip on there, and actually it almost looks like an elastic band. You know what? I'm going to come over and show you. This is really cool. It almost looks like a rubber band. You can even see some of the lines. It almost looks like a rubber band. So they wrap it tightly around there, and then what they do is they strike the top chord very gently, and it makes a sound. You can also, if you don't have rubber tipped mallets or sticks, you can just use your finger, and I'll show you what that sounds like too. So how come this is going to make a sound? Because right now it's floating. If it were full of water, it would sink and it wouldn't make that same nice resonating sound. But because it's floating right now, it's got a nice hollow inside, and that's what's going to give it that nice pop. So here we go. Let's see what it sounds like. Pretty cool, hey? So that's with the mallet, but obviously you can hit it a couple of different ways. I mean, I'm gonna use my fingers. And obviously, for me, I like hitting with the mallets because it sounds louder. But I mean, you kind of get a cool sound with your fingers as well. So yeah, the other reason why this works is right now it's got a hard outer shell. So the water won't seep out so fast. Could I leave this out here all day? No, because eventually the water will soften the inside of the drum, and it will start leaking through, and I don't want to do that. But I mean, if I were to play it for an hour or something, I'm sure it would be fine. And then what you do after that is you just let it dry for a little bit just before you pack it away. Mine came in this wonderful little bag, and then you just put it away and save it for the next time you want to play. So I hope you enjoyed learning about the water drum, and I'll play one more time. Thank you so much for joining me today. Have a great day and stay safe. See you later. Bye.